What's good, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy SONICSTA back at it again with another video. So let me just clarify here real quick before I get into the video. Nothing is confirmed. We don't have a Sonic Adventure 3 announcement or a Sonic Adventure 3 at all. Even though it would be beautiful to have all that stuff, let's be real, we don't know if we're getting that yet. But even though we don't have an announcement or anything in that caliber, I figure it'd still be fun to talk about a Sonic Adventure 3. I mean, come on, it's Sonic Adventure 3, how can we not talk about it? But just as a reminder, these are my wants and desires from a Sonic Adventure 3. If you have something different from me, let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you agree with me, again, let me know down in them comments. But either way, let's get started on my hopes and dreams for Sonic Adventure 3. So first and foremost, I wanted to address that there is a difference between the Sonic Adventure 1 formula and the Sonic Adventure 2 formula. Both games have a very similar style of play, but the original Adventure 1 formula is more, I guess, it opens up the opportunity for exploration more and you can do more in that level design. Whereas Adventure 2, it's more linear and it's kind of telling you where to go. I figured it'd be good to point this out because throughout the video I'm going to be talking about the Adventure formula, and I want you guys to know I'm going to be talking about the Sonic Adventure 1 formula opposed to the Sonic Adventure 2 formula. Reason being is because I would love to see Sonic Adventure be kind of, more of an adventure. I'd like to explore in the level. I'd like to go to uncharted realms and complete the level in different ways than I ever had before. And I feel like Adventure 1 had so many opportunities where you can do that, and that's what I want to see in Adventure 3. Now don't get me wrong, I love Sonic Adventure 2. I love what Sonic Adventure 2 brought to the table. I love the story, I love the characters, I love the playstyle. It's all fun. But I feel like Adventure 1's formula just had me best, and it just made me really fall in love with it. So I'm gonna have to go with the Adventure 1 formula for me. So with the formula aside, I wanted to talk about the playable characters because guess what? That's like one of the most important things when it comes to a Sonic Adventure game. If you just have Sonic as a playable character, is it really a Sonic Adventure game right here? Are we really getting the Sonic Adventure? Now even though the title says Sonic Adventure, we all know it's more than just Sonic's Adventure. Like, look at Sonic Adventure 1, for example. We got Tails, Knuckles, Big, Amy, Gamma. Like, all these characters got their own little stories and own little gameplay styles that it's really important to keep them there and maybe even add some more or get entirely new characters that people will like. However, one of the most important things that made sure these characters were unique and distinct was not just their designs, but it was also their gameplay. Take Sonic Adventure 1 for example. Sonic and Tails had very similar levels, but everybody else was completely different. Gamma had shooting stages, Knuckles was looking for Master Emerald pieces, Amy was running away from Zero, and then of course you got Big over there who's freaking fishing.
Froggy, is that you?
While some of these gameplay styles were more fun than others, they each brought something unique to the game. If you know me, you know that I love variety. It's one of my favorite things when it comes to a video game, and I feel like Sonic Adventure 1 was perfect for it because it offered something for everybody. Now this isn't an unpopular opinion, but I wasn't the biggest fan of big stages. They were cool or whatever, but it just wasn't for me. Now, I never even went fishing before, so that probably didn't help that in the matter either, but even still, I don't remember Sonic Adventure for big stages. I remember Sonic's Adventure for the variety it had and for Sonic stages because Sonic stages were just my favorite. Now I'm sure the vast majority of us love Sonic stages the best and think he had the best designed stages, but even still you can find a select group of people out there who really enjoy other stages from different characters. In summary, we have to keep these different playable characters as well as their different gameplay styles. Alright, well now I know what you're thinking next. SONICSTA. Who are these playable characters you're talking about? I mean, obviously we're getting Sonic, but who else are we getting? And let me just tell you, wait, I'm getting there. Now for the 6 playable characters I had in mind were Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, and Blaze. Now I picked these 6 characters because not only are they my personal fan favorite characters, but they also are really well liked amongst the community. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are the obvious choices considering they were playable in both Sonic Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, but I feel like Shadow should be there because he made a lasting impact on the series, and I think he's the second most popular character in the franchise, so he's kind of essential here. And then you have characters like Silver, who I think deserve another opportunity to be playable again. I mean, after the outing of Sonic 06, a game which I loved, I feel like he deserves another chance to be in the spotlight. He's a great character and he's got a lot going on with him, like the whole telekinesis thing, being from the future. There's a lot that can be explored there for story as well as gameplay wise. Now, of course, the last character I picked is Blaze, and I feel like she's really essential to have here because she's one of those characters that just does not get enough credit for being such an amazing character. She's arguably one of the best female Sonic characters, and she has the powers to prove it. She can use pyrokinesis, which is basically just fire powers and stuff like that. Like, she's like a Mario sister, you know what I'm saying? Also, she came from another dimension and is a princess from another dimension. And also, she has the capabilities of using Burning Blaze, which is basically like the equivalent to Supersonic. Now, I made a point to mention Burning Blaze because there are no other female Sonic characters that can use a super form, at least that we know of. At least in canon, anyway. I'm not sure about the comics or whatever, because I never read the Archie comics too much, except for when I was a wee skitty back in the day, but that's a long time ago, dog. Need I not mention that in Sonic 06, she literally sacrificed her own life to save a future that had nothing to do with her. Say what you want about Sonic 06 not being canon because Elise blew out a flame or whatever, bruh, it's the thought that counts. Blaze literally gave her life not knowing she was going to come back. That's a W for real, and I think Blaze deserves much more credit. But either way, now that I've addressed the playable characters in this game, let's talk about the character gameplay. What are these characters going to play around like? What are we going to see from these characters? Now, the obvious first character I'm going to talk about is Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's going to be basically the same way he is in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but he'll be a lot smoother as well as he'll be mechanically a little bit more fun to play as. Sonic should just be one of those basic generic characters that anyone can just pick up and play without any problems at all. However, there is actually one gimmick I wanted to add to Sonic, and it's from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle when you play the multiplayer mode. I think it would be really cool if Sonic could use the Sonic Wind move in actual levels. With this ability, I think it'd be really cool if Sonic could just destroy every single robot or enemy on the screen. Now, of course, you'd have to collect a certain amount of rings to do this, and maybe he can only do it once. There should be some sort of limitation placed on it, that way it's not overpowered. To be totally real with you, I can take or leave this idea. I mean, I think it sounds pretty cool because Sonic would have another move in his arsenal, but if Sonic is more gimmicky this way and kind of less Sonic, then you can totally leave it out. Now, the next character I'm going to talk about is Tails, and he's going to play almost the exact same way he does in Sonic Adventure, the original one. Now, I'm all for Tails and mechs, but I feel like this dude should be able to showcase his abilities while he's just kind of on the floor meleeing, on the floor brawling, and I feel like that'd be pretty cool to just showcase this once again. I was more fond of the Sonic Adventure 1 levels of Tails than I was of the 2 levels of Tails, but hey, I ain't complaining, both were pretty fun anyway. Now, mechanically, aside from flying, Tails will play the exact same way as Sonic, but I think he should have levels that are more catered to his character overall. So I was thinking for Tails' gameplay, I think it'd be really cool to have him encounter some sort of puzzle and have to invent something in the middle of the level in order to complete the puzzle and move on in the level. Now, my biggest concern with this is that Tails somehow manages to slow down the gameplay if he is going to be inventing stuff in the middle of the level, but I didn't really picture Tails being a fast type character anyway. I pictured him more as a puzzle solving type character. That way you have, you know, variety. Now, the third character I'm going to talk about here is Knuckles the Echidna. Now, he is not going to play anything like we've seen before because, to be honest with you, I wasn't a big fan of the treasure hunting levels, so I feel like it'd be more fun to have something that's more suited for Knuckles. Now, obviously treasure hunting makes sense, but I feel like Tails is already doing the puzzle type levels, so let Knuckles do his own thing, and that is hack and slash. He's going to be playing like the Werehog in Sonic Unleashed. Now, I feel like this would cater great to Knuckles' strengths and also his character because he's called Knuckles. He should be punching people. He should be blowing stuff up and destroying stuff. So I feel like this would be really cool because we can have Knuckles just completely tear up enemies and tear up robots. And it'd be so satisfying because this is a gameplay style we've seen before, but this would be executed even better than the Werehog was. And mind you, I love the Werehog. I would love to see Knuckles doing all sorts of combos and flips and blowing stuff up and destroying robots. And I feel like this would be perfect and right up his alley. Again, not to say treasure hunting is bad, but I feel like having two characters do a puzzle thing is just a bit too much. The next character I'm going to talk about is Shadow the Hedgehog, and now he's going to play very similar to Sonic, but I think his level should be significantly harder. Now, if you play the game Sonic Heroes, you know that Team Dark's levels were the hardest in the game, and that's not an argument, it's just a fact. Not only did Team Dark's story make me want to throw my controller at the ground and question the meaning of life, but it also made me open to the opportunity of challenges in video games. After completing Team Dark's story, I felt a very strong sense of achievement, and I kinda want to re-experience that again. In my ideal Sonic Adventure 3, these levels would be the hardest in the game. But then I guess your next question is, how are you going to make these levels even harder than Sonic's? Because if they're going to control the same, it can't be his gameplay that's hard to maneuver. What's it going to be, SONICSTA? What's it going to be? And to answer that question, I was thinking that there'd be more robots to face, and maybe levels might be longer here than they are in Sonic's story. Not to mention, it'd be pretty cool if the platforming was a bit more difficult than usual. Oh, and similar to Sonic, I was thinking that Shadow could also have some sort of gimmick where instead of having Sonic Wind or whatever, he can have Chaos Blast where he'd have to have a certain amount of rings and destroy a certain amount of robots to do that, and it would blow every enemy off the screen, but even still, it would be so that it's limited and it's not that OP. Originally, I was thinking that maybe perhaps he can use Chaos Control and that can be his secondary move, but I wasn't really sure how to implement that too well without it being weird and chaotic. If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comment section down below, and I might even pin your response, because honestly, talking about this gets me mad hype. Alright, and the next character I'm going to talk about is Silver the Hedgehog. Now, he would play similar to how he does in Sonic 06, but he would be faster. And instead of walking, he would be hovering above the ground, and he'd be flying around. I imagine his levels would be around the same level of difficulty as Sonic's are, but his would require more thought. I imagine that you would have to use his psychokinesis to maneuver certain objects to progress further in the level. In a way, he'd kind of be like a mid-ground between Sonic's gameplay and Tails' gameplay. It wouldn't be nearly as fast as Sonic's, but it would also still be faster than Tails is. And the last gameplay style I'm going to talk about here is Blaze. Now, she would play nearly identical to Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I've mentioned before, she's basically Sonic from a different dimension, except she's got the ability of pyrokinesis. So I was thinking perhaps she can use her fire abilities to burn stuff down to progress further in the level. Now, it's not a huge change or anything like that, but I feel like it might slow down gameplay a tad bit, but even still, it's not that big of a deal. And also, it kind of captures her character with just a couple new moves. Again, I'm a huge fan of lore as well as the Sonic lore and kind of focusing on how everything works and how everything operates, and I feel like to not include one aspect of a character's ability is just kind of doing a disservice to the character. So I feel like Blaze should in some way or some form use her fire abilities. But with that being said, those are my 6 different characters as well as their own unique different gameplay styles. If you have any other characters you'd add or take away, let me know in the comment section down below. So the next obvious topic that comes after characters is the story. What is this game's story gonna be like? So the first thing I want to point out is that Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 don't have anything to do with each other in terms of story. The reason I bring this up is because Adventure 3 does not have to have anything to do with Adventure 2 or Adventure 1 aside from having the adventure in the title. Even though those games don't have anything to do with each other, I think it'd be really cool to just continue to keep some of the same elements that they once used before. My favorite example of this is that both adventure games kind of bring an end of the world scenario. In Sonic Adventure 1, you kind of had Chaos who flooded the entire city and was going to destroy everything in his path. However, Sonic Adventure 2 kind of raises the stakes. You have Final Hazard strapped to the top of the space colony arc and it's hurtling towards Earth and he's going to blow everything up in existence. Basically what I'm saying is these Sonic Adventure stories were really high stakes, and I feel like for Adventure 3 to be known as an adventure type game, we gotta bring this back. We gotta make sure all the animosity, all the heat is cranked up to a 10. So as I said before, Adventure was on Earth, Adventure 2 was on Earth and space, and I was thinking for Adventure 3, maybe we can do some sort of multiverse kind of thing. I know that's kind of random, but I feel like since we've already done Earth and space, what if we just had all sorts of different things going on? Where we traveled to all sorts of places throughout the worlds and throughout different dimensions as well. In the games, we really haven't seen Sonic do that before. I mean, we've seen him time travel in games like Sonic CD, but in this essence, in this sense where he's going through different dimensions and stuff like that, we haven't really seen him do that, and I feel like this is also perfectly in line with the new Sonic TV show coming out in 2022, Sonic Prime. This would also be pretty cool from an advertising sense too, because Sega can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone by advertising Sonic Prime along with Sonic Adventure 3 if they wanted to. Now I know I didn't give a great in-depth detail on the story, but I'm really trying not to make this video too long. If you want, I can probably talk about it in another video, or maybe just leave it in the comments below or something like that. I don't know, but I was thinking that it'd be really cool to just have it kind of in line with Sonic Prime, and that's about it. Now moving along in the story, I kind of wanted to talk about the final boss of the game, and I was thinking it'd have to be somewhat similar to Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 by being a really high intensity threat. Basically what I'm saying is this final boss cannot be Eggman. If we look at some of the previous Sonic Adventure bosses, we know we have Perfect Chaos, and we also know we have Final Hazard. So I'm thinking the final boss has to be big, huge, and it's also got to be an actual threat to Sonic in the group. And it would definitely have to be a threat where they would need to use their super forms. And since this story is going to be like a dimension, multiverse type story, I was thinking that the final boss could be someone who has total control over all sorts of different dimensions. I guess this villain could be sort of like Time Eater, but instead of controlling time, he'd control dimensions. But anyway, that's how I would go about creating a Sonic Adventure 3 story. How would you guys do it? Would you do it the same way I did it or go in a completely different direction? Let me know in the comment section down below. But either way, now that I've talked enough about the story, let's talk about potential villains that we can see appear in this game. Now to start off with the most obvious choice, it's gonna have to be Dr. Eggman. He's in like every Sonic game in existence, so it's really gonna be weird if he's not there and not playing a major role. And Eggman has played a role as the villain where he's not being the final boss, such as games like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2. In those games, he is not the final boss, yet he's still playing a main antagonist role. And in my perfect Sonic Adventure 3, he would be the exact same way here as he is in those games. And along with Eggman for other villains and stuff like that, I was thinking that I'd love to see the return of the E-Series robots. Aside from Sonic Adventure, the E-Series robots really play a very small role in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. I mean, sure, they make small appearances in other games like Sonic Battle, but that's about it. And not gonna lie, these E-Series robots actually have so much potential to be great boss battles. One of my personal favorite boss battles in Sonic Adventure is Gamma's final boss, E101 Mark II. E101 Mark II is one of those bosses that I had a lot of fun fighting against. E101 Mark II is one of those robots that have so many abilities yet is very underutilized. It was a lot of fun for a boss fight for Gamma, but I was thinking to myself, this would be so much more fun if Sonic fought this boss. But as a whole, I really just want to see these E-Series robots once again. But aside from these robots, I also think it'd be really cool to see Eggman Nega make another appearance. Much like the E-Series robots, Eggman Nega is one of those characters who is completely underutilized. I mean, it makes sense in his case though, considering he is from a different dimension, but even still, if I'm gonna have Blaze in this game as a playable character, I kinda have to have Eggman Nega here. Now the way I see Eggman Nega working in this game is, I don't see him actually working with Eggman at all. I feel like Eggman Nega and Eggman would not work well together in this game because, well, they wouldn't see eye to eye at all, and they'd want to keep everything for themselves. But either way, in my ideal Sonic Adventure 3, these two wouldn't even have that many encounters anyway. And the last three villains I specifically like to see in this game are Metal Sonic and both Mecha Sonics. Now of course I know Mecha Sonic is an established classic Sonic character, but I still would like to see Eggman probably recreate this for the modern era. Personally, I like to see this group kind of function as like a high-speed trio. It'd kind of be like Metal Sonic's answer to Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. Now the way I had this trio operating in the first place was that they would not be working alongside Eggman, yet they would still be working for him. I personally think it'd be really cool if this trio tried to just kind of take over the world on their own, as well as take over different dimensions. And maybe possibly if they combine their powers or something, they can turn into some sort of Metal Overlord or something. I'm not sure. I know that's not how it normally works, but it'd be pretty cool to see Metal Overlord return as well. But anyway, that wraps up all the villains I really want to see in this Sonic Adventure 3 if it were to happen. I mean, there's obviously more villains that'd be really cool to see, but if we can get at least one of these three aside from Eggman, that would be amazing. But let's be real, it'd be pretty cool to just get a Sonic Adventure 3 in the first place. But either way, let's move on to character upgrades. Now I'm gonna be real with you, I don't have any new specific upgrades in place for characters. I just kind of like the ones they already had in Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. I think upgrades are very important for video game characters in the first place because they enable characters to do certain things they could never do before. Upgrades worked really well in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and I feel like they should not just go unforgotten, and they should make an appearance in the third one. They also add pretty good replay value because if you go back and play older levels, you'll see that there's spots where you can use your newfound upgrade. And yes, just like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, I was imagining every single character gets an upgrade because everybody gets a chance to eat in the Sonic Adventure house. And with that out of the way, that should cover the upgrade portion of this video. Now we should probably move on to, you know, the unlockables and the extras. So let me be real with you, for this section I was mostly thinking about how amazing Mario Odyssey and Crash 4 as well as Spider-Man are with unlockable skins and all the other stuff, and I was thinking, what if Sonic had stuff like this? I think it'd be really cool, and if in a Sonic game we can have multiple costumes for characters and multiple upgrades and stuff like that. So I was thinking about for if Sonic were to have customization options, maybe you can have like a Dreamcast skin or maybe like a Sonic Rider skin. Obviously you have more, but these are just the first two that came to my head. The Dreamcast skin would just be like like a really fun callback because it's an adventure game spawning from like the first Sonic Adventure game, you know what I'm saying? But then you'd also have like the Rider skin, which would be like the opening of the original Sonic Riders, and I feel like that would be a really unique art style to put in this game. I guess it would function similar to Spider-Man's comic book costume that he could wear in Spider-Man for PS4 and PS5. That'd be pretty cool. For Shadow, I was thinking a cool costume for him could be like the Halloween costume he wears in Sonic Forces Speed Battle for the event, you know, for Halloween or whatever. For Silver, I was thinking he could wear the Knights costume from, you know, the game Knights, as well as, you know, he also wore it on an IDW comic issue a little while ago. It'd be a really cool callback to both, you know, Knights, the franchise, as well as the IDW issue. By the way, Sega should bring back Knights. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I was thinking maybe Tails can wear his Boom outfit from Sonic Boom, because honestly, I don't hate that design at all, and it's a really good design for Tails, and it kind of just works. It kind of just embellishes his character, so it'd be pretty cool if he wore that. Also, Sega has acknowledged Sonic Boom's existence before in, you know, Sonic Forces, so it's not impossible. For Knuckles, I was thinking maybe he could wear the Knuckles Clan outfit that, you know, the tribe used to wear, you know, before they were extinct. And for Blaze, maybe she can wear her Lunar Blaze outfit from Sonic Forces Speed Battle. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really tried to find a good costume for Blaze and Shadow, but I really came up with goose eggs. If you guys have anything better, let me know in the comments down below. I want it to be like throwbacky and think of all this stuff that they used to wear, but they really don't change their outfits very much, and it's not like they're drawing that much in other media in different clothing, so there's that too. But yeah, if you have anything better, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to read your responses on this one. The last big content piece I wanted to talk about is hub worlds. And yes, they should be included in a potential Sonic Adventure 3. Again, Sonic Adventure 2 does a great job of being a great game. However, when it comes to terms of adventure, I just think SA1 does it best. In Sonic Adventure 1, we're presented with hub worlds where we can interact with NPCs, go to all sorts of different locations, and also find out where our next level might be. In Sonic Adventure 2, however, the best and only way to go to your next level is just by moving the analog stick to the right. Now, I'm not saying this is bad, I'm just saying this feels like less of a journey and less of an adventure than Sonic Adventure 1 does. Not to mention, Sonic Unleashed also did a great job with these hub worlds by making them feel like you're in actually a different part of the world, and that's what it was supposed to do, and it did it so well. Like, seriously though, those visuals were fire, and speaking of visuals, that's actually our next topic. The next thing I want to talk about are the visuals. Ideally, what would I like this game to look like? Okay, so if I'm being honest, then I would really like to see this game kind of look like Sonic Unleashed. In my opinion, visually, Sonic Unleashed is one of the best Sonic games we've ever gotten. Even this Sonic render is just so flawless. And I'm not going to tell you that the other games do it bad, I'm just going to tell you that Unleashed does it the best. But if we ever do get a Sonic Adventure 3, is it likely we get it to look like Unleashed does? No, probably not. It's probably going to look similar to Forces, if not better. However, if we got a Sonic Adventure 3, I would not want it to use the assets from Sonic Lost World, much like what Forces did. I think the way Lost World looked was fine, I mean, for its own game, you know, just for it to be that one-time thing. But going forward, I just don't think that's really what Sonic's character should be all about. If we're going to take a serious tone with this game, much like Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 did, then I really think that we should be focusing on the assets of something like Sonic Unleashed. Like I said many times before, these are like my favorite time period of Sonic games because they just stay so close to the shonen type anime vibes that I really like, and it's just so cool to see it. It's almost as if Sonic characters back then were like the Dragon Ball of video games. Ideally, I'd also like to see, you know, great cutscenes to go alongside this adventure, that way I actually feel like I'm immersed in the story. Games like Sonic Unleashed did a great job of demonstrating these cutscenes and making you feel for the characters. I've said this before in a previous video, that Sonic Unleashed is one of those games that make you really feel like you want those characters to succeed. Through the cutscenes and dialogue alone, I will really just gain an attachment to these characters, and I just don't want them to fail or anything bad to happen to them. Sonic Adventure 3 should do a similar type thing by just kind of immersing us in the story. With that out of the way, it kind of wraps up the main portion of the content piece of this video, and now I feel like it's really imperative that I talk about, you know, the extra stuff, the stuff that's really important for the game but not as important as the content pieces. First and foremost, let's assemble the perfect music crew for this ideal Sonic Adventure 3. Firstly and most obviously, we're going to need Crush 40. If you're a Sonic fan, you know who Crush 40 is. They do all the best music for this franchise, and you cannot not know them. So I'm not going to go into grave detail here, but they also did Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2, and most recently they did TSR. So you can listen to their samples from there. It's amazing. It's top tier. The best Sonic music group there ever is, and there ever will be. Next up, I want my guy, Tomoya Otani. I probably pronounced his name wrong, so correct me in the comment section, please. Now, Otani has made some amazing hits in the past, like he's done the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Unleashed. I mean, he's only missed once with the whole Sonic Forces soundtrack, but even still, I can look aside from that and realize that this dude has done so much for this franchise, so he's definitely going to have to remain on board. And lastly, we're going to need Fumi Kumatani. Not enough people talk about her, but she's done some banging tracks for the series. She's done some Sonic Adventure tracks, some Sonic Adventure 2 tracks, some Sonic Riders tracks, so on and so forth. But most notably for me anyway, she's also done some music for the Chao Garden. And with that, I think I've assembled the Elite Sonic Music Dream Team. If there's anybody else you'd want to add to this dream team, let me know in the comments down below. Switching gears here, let's talk about the art for this game, like the box art and all sorts of other promotional art for Sonic Adventure 3, ideally. So if it wasn't obvious enough, we're going to have our guy Yuji Uekawa to do this box art and do all the promotional art for this game. Yuji has already done so much for the series by doing box arts prior like Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and also he does like the Sonic Channel art, so of course we're going to need him to do this box art as well as the promotional art. However, as far as to what it will look like, I'm thinking it'll look like the new Sonic Channel art we're getting right now. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but for the past 3 months, we've been getting all sorts of Sonic Channel calendars and all sorts of art made by Yuji Uekawa, and it just really illustrates what I believe the new Sonic Adventure art style should look like for this ideal Sonic Adventure 3. But overall, because he's such a great artist and has been doing Sonic's art for so long now, it doesn't really matter which art style he chooses. No matter what he chooses, I'm sure it'll just be phenomenal anyway. And before we leave this content category, I guess, the last major thing I really wanted to talk about that I really didn't get a chance to talk about too much that I kind of forgot about is Chao Garden. I alluded to the inclusion of Chao Garden when I mentioned Fumi Kumatani being one of the music people I want on this ideal Sonic Adventure 3 soundtrack, but I really think that Chao Garden is important nevertheless. As I've said earlier in this video, variety is really important to me, and I feel like without it, I just don't know how far Sonic Adventure would go as being my favorite. Chao Garden is kind of like that I'm just going to take it easy, just going to take a break kind of moment in Sonic Adventure. Throughout the majority of both Sonic Adventure games, it's really a lot of just kind of action-packed, high-octane music as well as, intense stages. When you find a Chao Garden key or even go to one of the Chao Garden stages, it's like the game is telling you to take a break, take it easy. And to be honest with you, when I was younger, I really wasn't about that life. I would just kind of like leave as soon as I got there if I accidentally got a key or whatever. But I was mostly really into just exploring and finishing the levels and finishing the games and all the intense moments. But as I got older, I got a deeper appreciation for Chao Garden. Seriously, this thing is like a virtual pet simulator, and it definitely deserves to stay in a potential Sonic Adventure 3. I was also thinking along the lines of maybe even like doing a Chao Garden mobile app that somehow connects to the game itself. I was thinking that a cool idea might be that your phone could serve as like a mobile surveillance of your current Chao Garden. Players who have the game Sonic Adventure 3 could easily just grow their Chao in the game, and then if they need to leave or whatever, they could just pick up their phone and continue where they left off. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure how this concept would work, but I am a big fan of kind of having your Chao Garden on the go with you at all times. It's sort of like no matter where you go, you'll always have your Chao with you, and I'm in love with that idea. For the final segment of this video, I wanted to talk about how I would ideally like to see this game marketed. In a perfect world, let's say Sega had the best possible budget for this game, not just for making the game, but also for, advertisement and all that other stuff. And I would love to see this be like peak advertisement. I'd like to see this on YouTube ads, on TV ads, primetime television ads, and if this was dropping like around the time of the Super Bowl or something like that, maybe we can get like a Super Bowl commercial or something crazy. I'm not totally sure how that kind of works, but I think that'd be pretty cool to have. I mean, it's not that crazy. I mean, the Sonic movie had a Super Bowl ad. Then again, it was a movie, so it had a much higher budget. But even still, I'd love to see somehow, ideally, it would be really cool if this had some sort of Super Bowl ad or some sort of giant TV ad. Speaking of trailers and TV ads, I would love to see my ideal Sonic Adventure 3 kind of have like a Mario Odyssey type commercial, whereas we're getting like all sorts of Sonic CG inside of like the real world or whatever, because it's gonna be like a Sonic Adventure game, so we're gonna be seeing like humans and stuff like that, so it'd be pretty cool to have a CG Sonic react with the humans. It's sort of like how we saw with that Progressive commercial way back when. It would also be cool if this game had like partnerships with like Doritos or whatever else, sort of like have like in the top corner of like the Dorito bag or whatever, you see like Sonic Adventure 3 and maybe like you can win like a free copy and stuff like that. I think that all that marketing and stuff like that sounds really cool, and I would love to see Sonic get that high and just do all the other stuff. I would also like to see Tyson Hesse do some sort of Sonic Adventure 3 type animation. Now, compared to my other marketing strategy ideas, this is not nearly as far-fetched because Tyson Hesse has already done this with games like Sonic Mania and TSR. I mean, I guess he's kind of already done like some sort of Sonic Adventure animation with like the whole Chao in space thing, but let's see him do it again with like an ideal Sonic Adventure 3. And with that being said, there's a whole bunch of other marketing strats I'd like to see done, but I think this has already blown up the budget enough. But either way, that'd be really cool to see all this stuff anyway. But there you have it. That is my ideal Sonic Adventure 3. If Sega somehow called my phone and said, "SONICSTA, we want you to make Sonic Adventure 3, this is exactly how I would do it, and this is exactly how it would be done." But let's be real, if we do get Sonic Adventure 3, I do not think it'll be anything like this. This is my ideal version, this is just how I would do it. But how would you guys do it? Let me know in the comments down below, how would you guys create your own Sonic Adventure 3? Also, if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. And honestly, thank you guys so much for watching. This is my longest video so far, and I figured I covered a pretty good topic for this to be my longest one. But anyway, thanks again so much for watching. If you like this, please remember to like and subscribe, and have a blessed day, y'all. It's your boy SONICSTA signing out. Peace.
Why are you playing that trash?